We're not in the job of getting in the way of
Right.
what our buyers want,
Or what's best for them.
or what's best for them.
Mhm.
And you just can't get caught up in the whole, oh, builders stop paying co-brokes. You know what? They're paying them now.
Yeah.
And like I said, that particular builder that wasn't paying you and you were upset at and you got it on the list, well, it might be the perfect home for your clients. And here's the other thing. Your clients are going to go anyways,
Yeah.
right? They're going to go.
Yeah.
So take them in there.
Totally. This is new builds, Mike. We've been doing this. This was our niche for my real estate career. My real estate teams, the company I was designated broker of, was all about new home builds, and we specialized in the buyer side of new home builds. And I can tell you, they've done this in just my 30 years. They've done it 3 times prior. First it was Journey and Hancock over in El Mirage, and then it was Elliott Homes and Lennar, and they do this cyclically, but you have to understand why they do it cyclically. So when you're looking at the market cycle, this will be relatively brisk, but when you're looking at the market cycle, the first thing you're going to see when a market's about to change is Mark Taylor Properties and big, huge companies like that starting to build multifamily properties. Why? Because that's the first indication that we're going to have a population increase, because they can build a 400 unit building as fast as we can build a one family home. That's about it. So the fact is you're going to see that happen. Then you're going to see builders dirt turning. You're going to start seeing them build communities. They're going to be everywhere, right? Just like they just were. Then you're going to see builders stop paying you and I compensation. Now, the reason they do that is, why do they need to pay you when there's no resale inventory and people are walking through the door? So consequently, you have that cycle. Well, then all of a sudden you're going to feel one day, you're going to see a builder that says, hey, I'm not only going to pay you what I used to pay you, but now I'm going to incentivize you on some of these extra inventory spec homes. And what does that tell us? That tells us that the market has shifted and the population boom is over. Well, what did builders do, Mike and Michelle, in the last couple of weeks? They've started sending out flyers now saying, hey, this inventory home, this move-in ready 30 days out. Well, we're not only going to pay you, we're going to incentivize you almost twice what we normally would have paid you. So they're luring us back in, but that's okay. This is a market cycle, just like interest rates. So this is normal. If you get upset about this and you don't understand why it's taking place, shame on you. Just get back in the game. And you could be found in fiduciary trust violation of your representation to your client should you overlook any builder if that builder meets your client's needs.
Well, good luck in proving that. But anyways, so again, as a reminder, point 2, they're paying again. Yep. And to what your point is, some of them are paying above 3%, above 4%. There is tremendous incentives out there. And the question is, and we kind of said in point number 1, do you like money?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I like money, and money can overcome a lot of personal, and none of it is personal.
It's a cycle.
They're running a business.
Exactly.
And so you got to get over it, and know what's out there. And then point number 3 is there are some great opportunities. You can walk, just focusing on new build, not to say just focusing on new builds, but really focusing on new builds. There are some great homes out there, and you might find the perfect home for your buyer. And builders have inventory right now.
Yes,
they got a lot of inventory right now. And so they're offering your buyers great incentives. Last year, the incentives weren't really all that great, but now they're offering tremendous incentives again. And then they got spec homes. You got that client that's the thing. You got a client that, ready to buy and ready to move, and they're looking for a 30-day escrow or 45-day escrow. Builders have some tremendous opportunities, quick close spec homes. And then I find model homes are easier to sell.
Absolutely.
I don't have to do anything. I just take a client. My problem is every time I walk in, I want to buy one, right?
They're so good at pitching it.
They're so... The homes themselves, the model homes themselves sell it. They do all the work. And then the builders do all the work for you with the contracts. It is, if you've not had an opportunity to put your client into a new build, I'm telling you, it's fantastic.
If you're a new agent or a top producer, think about it. The builder's representative is going to write the offer. you just saved yourself an hour and a half of back end admin time. You're a brand new agent and you're all worried about, oh my gosh, I don't know how to write an offer yet. Not really, and all those conditions that could apply. Well, take them to a new build. The builder writes the offer. So either of those two things fit what we need in the marketplace. The other thing is there's two services that MLS offers. If you go to so here's the question I get. Todd, how do I find new homes? Well, I don't know if you know, but there is a database, two of them, three of them actually, in which provide a MLS-like dashboard where you can go in and put in your client's wants, and it actually comes up and shows you exactly which builders, which subdivision has that. It tells you what incentives are at that local subdivision and who the people are. So when you walk through the door, you can make it look like you've been there before because you already have the person's name. Hey, is Michelle here? No. Okay, well, whatever. So the thing is that one of them, if you go to your products tab, so you go to Flex MLS, and then you click on your products tab, then you will see in there two services. One will be New Home Source Pro, and that one's owned by the big five stock exchange builders. The other one is RL Brown, and RL Brown has a super app, a mobile app, and it's free. And I would recommend everybody download that mobile app. Now, if you want the most accurate data that's out there, it's still Ultimate New Home Search, which is a paid service that a couple of $20, $25 a month, and you can get it. So.
Well, I would just warn everybody, since you brought up, is do not sign your clients up to receive anything out of these new build searches and register and whatever the case is, because they will get spammed like it's nobody's business. And when they get that email from pick a builder, and they pick up that email and they go down and write a contract, you're out. You're out.
So here's what Lennar did this past week. I don't know if you guys have been watching. They sent out an email that if you are a buyer and you're interested in purchasing a Lennar home, 4.33%.
Wow.
And it's like, what? Yeah, 4.33. And that was I think they were going after one of the other builders, D.R. Horton or somebody, who advertised 5.33% the week before. So, there's a lot of things happening. Those are probably buy down rates. So the builder's taking that $15,000 incentive or whatever, and they're buying down the rate with their lender. But those are available. And here's the other thing. Be very, very careful of using the builder's lender. You might have better luck using your own lender, like, going over to, talk to Fairway. And, sure enough, the builders like to have you confirmed or pre-qualified with their lender. And there is some times that if you don't use their lender, they won't give you that incentive. But look at all options. You owe that to your client. Make sure your client understands because, there's just, you don't want to leave any money on the table.
All right. So we're running a little bit earlier, so I thought, and Michelle, we'll introduce you. This is Michelle Minnick, and we'll get into the more formal introduction. But I'm going to bring you into the conversation because we had one of our listeners send in a message, and I got part of it. But prices in their mind, and there's this perception that prices are going down. So were we in a bubble? Is this the time to sell, and so forth? And for me, I would say we were never in a bubble.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, there were some people, I use the phrase, that just kind of got caught with their pants down. They went in and waived appraisal and offered to pay $50,000 off, above appraised value and so forth, closed, and then the market shifted.
Yeah.
And so there are people in my mind that overpaid. But doesn't mean that we were in a bubble and that home prices are coming down. We're seeing that the inflated prices, people aren't paying inflated prices for homes.
It's like when you irrigate your yard and you throw a hose on something, what happens? The water always finds level. And so in the marketplace, the market provides its own equilibrium as well. So what happened was when we were telling people, and I do believe this was the problem, when realtors were telling people that they had to pay more than comparable value to own the deal, to win the bid, that was, first of all, very, very close to being a fiduciary violation, because you're never supposed to speculate with consumers on what's going to happen moving forward. You can only provide what's called historical data, which is showing me comps about what's recently sold, and that should give me a good idea as to what I should pay. Now, fair market value is when a willing buyer and a willing seller come together. And Mike, as you and Michelle, as we all know, a homeowner can pay whatever they want for a home. They can not listen to our advice about don't pay more than this and pay more than that. That's their prerogative. However, when the market shifts, that stigmatism or that issue that was prevalent during that particular market goes away. To your point, Mike, now all of a sudden people are saying, well, I paid $25,000 more for the property, to win the bid. Well, good for you. You won the bid, but shame on you, because now the market is equilibrium. It's going to settle a little bit. Does not mean home values are going down. It just means the game's changing. So what happens? So that's that first part is, from that perspective, as far as price is concerned, anyway. It's not going down.
No, and we're not in a bubble.
And we're not in a bubble.
And as far as that question, is this the time to sell? I mean, that's a loaded question. It all depends. It depends on where you're at with in your process of obtaining your real estate goals.
Well, what did Dave Ramsey say?
He said it's time to buy.
There you go. So that means you have to have what people selling.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, all right.